Hey everyone, so today we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on the seller section. So previously we've been looking at the different calculators inside the buyer's area, but today we're going to focus on the seller section. So the seller section in essence is a little bit easier because you really only have two different calculators. Number one being your net sheet, and that's what you use to calculate a standard net sheet. And then we also have the sell to net, which actually works backwards based off the magic number that the potential seller has in their head. So today we're going to focus on the net sheet. So if we click on net sheet, what's going to happen is, so it brings up our seller screen here. So there's a couple different pieces of information that we'll need to provide here to go ahead and successfully generate our sales estimate. So first and foremost is going to be the sales price. So assuming you do your comparative market analysis and you confidently feel that this property can sell for $550,000. Okay. Next we have our broker fee, and it has it as a standard of 6%. That's just a setting that I have on mine, but you can actually enter any number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or you can also click on this little gear button here and you can actually split it, right? So assuming 3 goes to the buyer, agent, and 3 goes to the listing agent, or you can do 4, 2, and then you can also use this little button here to actually show it within the closing costs. Some prospective sellers like to get really deep in the details and know exactly about every single dollar that's associated with their listing. So this allows you to do that in terms of the commission. So we can go ahead and go back. Now repairs. Repairs is anything that you feel needed to be done to the property in order to get it sold, or maybe it was a flip and there was $30,000 to $40,000 that was invested in it, or things like that. So you can actually enter that figure here and it will actually take it out of the proceeds. So hey, you really netted this amount. So we're just going to go ahead and let's say we made $1,500 worth of improvements prior to getting the property sold, right? So now the miscellaneous area. Now miscellaneous is kind of same thing that we looked at on our buyer's calculators, where we can actually add or remove anything from the closing cost. So just for the sake of our presentation today, we're not going to go ahead and enter anything here. Okay, property taxes, we've seen this before, right? So depending on which area they live in, right, their property tax rate can change. So let's say this one is out of Van Nuys. Okay, now loan balance. So loan balance is very important because we have to have somewhat of an idea of what they actually owe on their property, so it can give us kind of a ballpark estimate. So loan balance, let's say the homeowner probably owes maybe $307,000 left on their home. They bought a couple years ago, maybe refinanced once or twice, so they probably have a 3.7% interest rate. And we'll assume that our closing date is today. Now, city transacts, there are some within the city, some cities of Los Angeles. So let's say they're within Los Angeles, so we're going to go ahead and use that one. So it defaults to our PCT escrow rates, but you can go ahead and you can remove this completely, or you can click on this button here to actually generate the escrow fees will be. For example, it's going to ask us what the base escrow is. So let's say maybe there's a 500 base and maybe it's 0.75 cents per thousand, right? So you hit done. Okay, we hit compute. Okay, so that's what our escrow fee will be, right? Then we hit continue. Okay, so now all of our figures are in. All we need to do now is hit compute. Okay, once we do that, it will let us know exactly what we're going to net at closing. $202,000, right, based off our $550,000 sales price. Okay, our closing cost of $41,000, the balance that we owe of $307,000, and the prorated taxes. Now, right, the client is probably going to ask, well, what does this $41,000 consist of? We can click on our button here to click detail closing cost. So we just click on our detail closing cost. And when we click on this, it's actually going to show us all of the closing costs associated with the transaction, right? So for example, our homeowner's title policy, our escrow fees, our broker fee, disclosure report, termite. So these are just all different pre-saved closing cost fees that I have in there. If you wanted to, you can click this edit button there, okay? And you can either add some or you can remove any of these, just like that. Or you can actually even edit the price on these, right? If you needed to kind of just, you know, remove something on the spot, you're actually able to do so in live time. So when we hit done, let's go. It's going to ask you if you want to just save this for this estimate or all future ones. We're just going to do it for this estimate. So that's how we look at our detailed closing costs. Now, if we wanted to send this to our prospective seller, all we needed to do is hit this send button here. Okay, we hit that send button, and it's going to go ahead and generate a really nice estimate, just like we see here. Okay, along with some more information. Now, the really cool part about it is you can actually change this. You can change the language on this page here by clicking this little A button here at the top. So it's going to bring up a menu just like we see there. Okay, so for example, if you're primarily dealing with German speaking clients, Spanish speaking clients, or Japanese, you can just go ahead and click on any of these here, and it will automatically change all of the language there for you. So I just chose Spanish, and there we go. So it makes a change for us. Now, property details, you can use the GPS function and it will fill in all this information along with the school district, which is really cool. You can add a client name, and you can also add property photos. So what this is going to do is it's going to add property photos onto the estimate. Now this is ideally more for a buyer's estimate, since buyers are usually looking at several houses, but you can also include this on the seller one as well. So it's a good little feature if you wanted to include some, and then all you really do after that is hit send. Okay, and you can either email it or text it. I prefer doing a text just because you're able to capture their number right then and there. If this was just a random conversation with somebody, and the estimate comes right in the image as an image in their text message. So that's a feature that I really like. So we definitely hope this helps and makes things easier. Thanks, everyone.